Hello, Hello Time viewers. Today we welcome actress, writer, and comedian Rebecca Corry. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Good.
So,
Thanks
where are
for
you
having
dialing
me.
in from?
I'm up in a undisclosed location where there's lots of trees and cold weather.
All right. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, she's got a beanie on. She's not in Southern
Yeah.
California.
Yeah. And I haven't colored my hair in a few months, if I'm being honest.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Me too. I have an
Yeah.
appointment today
Yeah. Yeah.
to be a
Mine's coming up.
woman.
Yeah.
So, we're here today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to
And I
meet you.
see some cool pictures behind you of some pit bulls, and that's kind of what you're joining us today to talk about. You have stands up for pits at the Hollywood Improv. That's in a couple weeks or a week.
That is just a little over a week. It's on
Yeah.
November 6th. Yeah. Called Stand Up for Pits.
And I understand it's sold out, but although it's sold out, you still would like the public to know that they can drop off dog and cat products from 3 to 6 curbside. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yeah, they can. You don't have to have a ticket to come and donate shelter supplies, and as probably so many people know, and if they don't know, they should know that things are really, really dire. The shelters are very, very full right now, and they're desperate for help. So yeah, from 3 to 6 you can come by, drop off supplies. You can look at our merchandise. Merchandise is going to be for sale. You can get on the red carpet and take pictures, meet a couple of really great pups. And also the improv will be open and serving food and drinks, so people can hang out a little bit and just sort of be part of the event without, unfortunately and fortunately, there's just no tickets available for the show, but it is, the doors open at 3. The event starts at 3, so they can come by.
So let's talk about your foundation. What was the idea behind it and when did it get started?
We filed in 2013. We're recognized as a 501(c)(3) in 2014. Um, it was inspired and still is inspired by a pit bull type dog named Angel. That's the one that's behind me in all the pictures. She was a pit bull type dog that I started fostering around, I want to say 2009. And shortly thereafter, I adopted her, and then I became really educated about, um, what was going on with these dogs and the abuse and discrimination that they were facing, and how um, ridiculous it all was. So I decided to. I've been a writer and an actress and comedian for about 30 years, and so I decided to start producing shows, and did the first one at the Hollywood Improv 13 years ago, and they've been hugely successful nationwide now for 13 years, and have helped raise a lot of money and save a lot of lives. And that's how Stand Up for Pits, the event, came about. And then I organized a march on Washington to raise awareness about breed specific legislation and that dogfighting epidemic in the United States. And that was on May 4th. Or was it May 3rd? Maybe May 4th of 2014. I think May 3rd. And that is why the foundation was created, along with just wanting to be able to garner funds and allocate them as I felt fit for the cause. And we are pit bull type dog specific, but Angel was definitely the she's the reason and the inspiration, and like I said, still is. So she passed away in 2016, but she lives
Oh,
on in all the work that we do. So
I have two nephews who have they each have I believe they're called a blue, the pit bulls. I believe that's their name is, yeah.
they can
And
be labeled as that. Yeah.
yeah. One of them is named Tank and the other one is King. And they're just so lovable. I mean, they come running at you and you're like, ah, and they just like jump on you and want you to roll over, and they're just so beautiful. And so when you had yours, and what kind of research did you do to find out, how they're treated so badly?
Well, you don't really have to look far to see how badly they're treated. The myths that are made up about these dogs, about their jaws locking, about um, you know, being born and bred to just murder stuff. It's just,
Yeah,
it's fear-based ignorance at the highest level. It's people, it's basically society's way of further victimizing victims, because they are victimized every single day in this country. They're, you know, the most abused, wrongly vilified, discriminated against, tortured, fought, abused, and killed type dog. Um and to then point the finger at them and say that they're the ones that are vicious. They're really not. They're all born inherently good. They're all individuals. And like people, we're all born individuals, and not every member of a family is the same. And that's true with dogs too. And that's just what they are. They're dogs, you know. And it was just really evident, you know, the way that they're portrayed in the media, and the way that they're spoken about in movies, and just portrayed in general is really, it's just not who they are. You know, they're really gentle, loyal, loving dogs. And like any dog, it, you know, it's the onus of the owner
mhm,
to protect that dog and those around it, and to be educated and responsible. And unfortunately, that's not what happens. And you know, and when you hear about some sort of incident, you know, it's, they're dogs like any other dog.
right,
And but they're the ones that are on, they're the clickbait, you know,
yeah.
unfortunately. So in the 80s,
And
it was German Shepherds and
right. Yep,
Dobermans, and now it's,
Dobermans, remember Dobermans? They
of
got
course,
it.
of
Yeah,
course.
it's sad because I don't really do the news. Can you imagine? I don't do the news, but I don't. And if
Probably
you do,
healthier.
yeah, if you do see something pops up, it's always like, oh, pit bulls did this to this, and and
Mhm.
it's like, okay, but you don't see. I mean, I've been bitten by accident by my dogs, because you're playing and they don't mean to. But my first actual bite by a dog was a Labrador. I never saw that coming. So
I mean, that's what dogs, it's a,
yeah, I
you
was
know,
in their house and I surprised him and I was messing around with one of the kids and that dog bit me in the back of the leg. Good for that dog, but ouch,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that the owner thought I was going to have it put down. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, boy, it hurts and I'll go get a shot, whatever. But your dog was protecting your kid,
Right,
yeah. And that's
right.
the whole thing about it. It's the person. I mean, we know mauling's horrible and things happen for reasons and all dogs from Chihuahua can grab your throat. I mean, any animal. It just depends what provokes
Yeah,
them.
they're
Like a
dogs,
person.
and yeah, and barking and biting and howling, and these are ways that dogs communicate. And we
Mhm.
have to be diligent about them. And they do not have a predisposition to do bad things. They do not look for trouble. They, you know, and like I said, they're individuals. So could there be a bad lab, or a bad, you know, any kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, that's possible. But to wrongly vilify them and ban them and blame them is just, it's humanity's way of not taking responsibility. And that's what it is. And they're voiceless victims. And so they need us, they need us out there fighting for them. And you know, 85% of all dogs, at least this is the last I've heard, 85% of all dogs in US shelters are labeled pit bull type dogs. And it's still, people are buying them. It's absurd that people buy dogs still.
Yeah.
And also, one really important point I want to make is, you know, it is called Stand Up for Pits, and my organization is the Stand Up for Pits Foundation. But, you know, pit bull is a term, used to describe a type of dog based solely on its appearance. There is an American Pit Bull Terrier. That is a breed.
Okay.
That is real. However, all of these dogs that are being labeled pit bulls, they're they're mutts. They're just dogs. They're not American Pit Bull Terriers. They have square heads and short fur, and everyone calls them pit bulls, which makes it even that much more devastating that they're being banned and discriminated against when they're just being labeled. It's really crazy.
Yeah, because you can go like I like to go. I have a motorhome, so I like to go out. And you have a dog, and they, what dogs you can't have, and that's like on the top of the list. It's like really, it's my dog in my motorhome, and I can't come, then I won't stay. And I see that all over from traveling.
Yeah, I mean, our active duty military are not allowed to move on military bases with their pit bull type dogs. They have to relinquish them.
I didn't
It's
know that. That's terrible.
it's terrible. It's terrible. People
Oh,
can't get homeowners insurance. Renters can't rent.
oh, right.
It's like not only are their dogs being vilified, but and victimized, but so are people who love them.
Yeah.
And it's really it's time. This has been going on for about 4 decades, and it's time that humans are held accountable for bad behavior, not dogs who rely on humans to care for them, you know?
Yeah, because I've met and talked with Cesar Millan, who I love, and his whole thing is he's not training the dog, he's training the human. So it's
Mm-hmm.
us who needs to be trained, with that animal and knowledge. Any animal you want to adopt, and you should adopt people, you shouldn't be paying thousands of dollars for an animal. That's what stopped the breeding, illegal breeding and all this. And there's nothing better than a shelter dog, and find a dog who needs a home. Imagine dogs that are in shelters for I just read a story, because it was dog related, about a dog who'd been in a shelter, who was in a shelter for 6 years and up for adoption. I mean, it's like, I love that they have no kill shelters. They all should be like that. Do you find that in your organization? Are you finding shelters that you try to make help to be no kill shelters?
No, I don't find that. And what I do find though is like LA City is called no kill. But they're killing dogs every single
I
day.
know, I don't understand that.
Well, because they label them into different categories they kill them for medical reasons, behavior reasons, but
Oh,
yet the people that are assessing them are not qualified to be doing any of it. So it's really smoke and mirrors. There's no such thing. They're killing them every single day.
oh,
And and it should only be called no kill when no dogs are being killed. Otherwise, it's a lie. So that's that. And to your point about Cesar Millan, I just want to say, like, when people get these dogs, they need to really also respect the dog when training it. Don't use punishment training. Don't over, that's another problem that's getting dogs put into shelters, is that they are being browbeat by trainers that
mhm.
really are inappropriate and they're cruel. So really be careful about that when if anyone's thinking of adopting, like, look into positive reinforcement training only.
Yeah, and if you get a puppy, then start when the puppy's old enough. I mean, it's never, too young to start, and they're so smart. Dogs are
Right.
so
You don't have to,
smart
yeah.
and so
Yeah.
loving,
Yeah, they are. They're amazing. Dogs are a gift.
what animals can do for us.
They do it every day. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, how can our viewers get involved with your organization? What can we do?
Well, you can attend the events. They're all over the country. You can go to standupforpits.us to see where we're coming. Obviously, donations are always welcome, but if you're not able to do that, and you're not able to get to an event, follow us on social media, share dogs that we share, help get them seen and adopted, and independently support, local spay and neuter initiatives, and educate people about the importance of spaying and neutering, and adopting and not buying, and use your mouth, use your social media platforms, and be active. Don't just do something. You can always donate supplies to a shelter. You can always go and become a volunteer and walk the dogs. You can always foster. Fostering is very, very vital, because it gets dogs out of the shelter and buys them time, which they need, especially desperately in Los Angeles City and County.
How was
So, and
fostering for you? Can you tell us how it was for you when you said you did it?
well, I adopted her, so I was what we call a foster fail. And then the two dogs that it was amazing. I did foster one other before I got my the two that I have now. And she got a loving home, and it's really rewarding to see, to be in that, to be that part in their journey. It's really rewarding to do that, knowing that you're helping. It's hard to say goodbye because everyone gets attached, but it's vital to do that. Have a lot of respect for those people who just stay as fosters and don't fail, because the amount of dogs they help, they're helping others too. Because you take that one dog out of the shelter, you foster it, that leaves space for another one. That one gets adopted. It's a really vital part of the rescue process. So, and then the two dogs that I have now, I had no intention of keeping or whatever. My foundation funded all their care. They both have cancer. They both require special care. I know. And so they ended up where they should end up, and I love them both. But I absolutely do believe that fostering is so vital, even if people fostered one dog a year, just one.
Yeah. Wow. I know, because I asked that because I was thinking of that now that I don't have a dog, and
Consider it.
I just surrendered him, and it hurt, but it kind of felt good because I was
To
doing
help.
something. So
Yeah.
maybe I can do that, and foster.
Really, you really can. And what's nice about being a foster too is you're not responsible for any of the finances or anything. Your job as a foster is to just feed and house and keep the dog safe and show it love,
Yeah.
until its home comes along, and then you can do another one. I mean, it's really vital. I really encourage you to do it. And if you need any names of places to foster through, I can help you out.
Oh, that sounds great. Because like I said, that's what, to know that you're giving that and giving it a chance to be adopted to a real home, loving, and, maybe they're getting ready, they're moving, and now they want a dog and they're going to go look for one.
Yes.
And that's a great way to
Yes.
transition from just taking them out of the shelter. You're taking it from a home to another home. It's amazing. I'll have to do more research and talk
Well,
to
and
you.
fostering is usually through rescues. So you fill
Okay.
out an application to become an approved rescue, and then or approved foster through a rescue.
Okay.
And then they pull the dog from the shelter and do all the vetting and make sure that the dog, is ready to go to a foster home. And
Got
if
it.
you're approved, then you would become the foster. So yeah, definitely
Nice.
consider it.
Oh, that's so cool. So what type of dog and how old were you the first time you got one?
How old was I when I first got a dog?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you remember?
first dog I ever had, I think it was 20 years old, and it was with my ex-husband, 20 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, 31 years ago. And he was from England, and he really, really loved German Shepherds.
Oh,
And I hate to say it, but he bought that dog from a pet store, something I would never, ever do now.
yeah.
31 years ago, and being 20, I was an
What do
idiot.
we know?
Know better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I did have her. Her name was Samson, and I did have her for, she passed away at like 11 and a half.
Uh-huh.
And I loved her so much. And then I adopted a dog from the Lancaster shelter named Walter, and then adopted Angel, and then, like I said, fostered, and now have the two that I currently have as well that are rescues that were saved from certain death. So yeah, I mean, I've always loved dogs. I've always loved all animals, but I can't imagine my life honestly without one. I think it would
Yeah.
really be a
It's
lot less.
hard.
Yeah, it'd be a lot less hectic and busy, especially with two sick dogs at the same time. But knowing that, like you said, knowing that you're, doing something that's positive and saving their life, and I mean, it's makes life living and worth living.
So how many of these events do you do in a year now that we're out of COVID per se?
Well, I do. They varied. It's varied from year to year over the past 13 years. But it's about from now. It's about either 7 to 15 events a year is what we're doing. The goal is to do maybe less, but in bigger venues moving forward. But yeah, that's about where we're at.
And I was reading here that you're also December 9th, like you have an album coming out December 9th.
I do. It's a personal album, yeah, but the proceeds, if profits come from it, will be going to the foundation.
All right. Okay, folks. We'll get a link for that. And it says here on January 17th, you're having a comedy special, Stand Up for Pits with yourself. And that's going to be what, on Apple TV and Amazon?
Yeah.
Very cool. So that's going to be like one of these events that you host, and that'll be just shown to
Yeah,
us.
it's basically we shot it, and I directed it, and it's basically a stand up for pits show. So people that have always wanted to see it and haven't been able to come can now watch it.
Oh, so we add director. You're probably a producer, all these things. All right,
Yeah,
girls.
yeah.
Label
But
you.
it turned out really good, and I really hope it just people. I'm sure people are going to enjoy it. It's really funny, and I hope it inspires them to get involved.
And we'll make sure we get a link for that as well. So do your dogs travel with you? Do you have to travel a lot for your business?
I do, but they don't know.
Yeah, because that they're ill with their cancer.
Yeah, and they're just not built for that lifestyle. Angel was my other dog, but these two, no. One of them doesn't even like the car. It's a whole thing. So no, they do not. No.
And the event that you're having at the Improv, will you have some dogs there for adoption or?
We will have my dogs will be there as
Okay.
usual. And yeah, one of the dogs that we've been sponsoring since April, her name is Mama. She will be there. And then one of our dear friends who also has a rescue pit bull type dog is bringing their dog. Her name is Callista. So there'll be a few dogs there, but mainly this is a human only event, and people
Yeah.
come. We just want people to come and enjoy themselves and eat, drink, take pictures, support the cause.
Exactly, like what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Do you have anything else you want to share with us today?
Um, Other than the message that dogs are all born inherently good, doesn't matter what type they are. And that you need to spay and neuter your pets because countless lives are being murdered every year in this country. I know it's a real downer to end on that, but that's the truth. And we have to do better as a society.
And
And we
also,
can.
yes, that's for sure. It starts with us and knowledge. And I think it's such a great platform. And especially this fostering sounds amazing. I mean, what a great way for, a new couple to start out with fostering first, before they decide they can have a dog or will have a dog, because
Right.
knowing that we can go to a loving home first. I think that's pretty cool. I wanted to ask you, do your two dogs, like when you do your comedy routine, are they a good audience for you?
Oh, they think I'm an idiot. So yeah, I try out bits on them every now and then, but they have no interest in any of it.
They don't sleep through it, do they?
I think Sally has once, but they just have such just utter disappointment in who their mother is.
Are they with you today?
They are, yeah. Do you want to see one of them?
Yes, can we, please?
No, one is outside, and I don't want to. She's meditating. I'll
Okay.
bring over Todd.
Okay, Todd. Yay, we get to see Todd.
Todd, come here, buddy. Come here, little.
Oh,
He's laying down. Come here, Todd. Todd, come here. Come here. He won't. He won't.
can you bring your phone? Can you take your phone or laptop over there?
Come here. Oh yeah, maybe I can. Let's see. Let's see. So you're looking at this way to the. Okay, let's see.
You just have to keep it turned that way. Oh, oh my gosh, Todd's like, really? I am taking my nap. I love that pose.
Yeah, when I told you he didn't want to come, I really meant it.
You really did. You weren't
Yeah.
joking. Haha.
He's just relaxing. So
Todd.
that's Todd. That's my Todd.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I love
know.
those poses, right? And they can sleep like that.
Yeah, whatever. He's living his best life. He's living in the moment.
So what kind of treatment do they have for dogs with cancer? I've never had to deal with that.
Oh, I mean, they have all of it. They've got the, surgeries and chemo and whatnot, but I'm
Yeah.
not, I don't, I mean, I do, I don't do chemo.
Right. Yeah. So they just have, are they on special diets?
They are, yeah. I mean, sugar breaks down, carbs break down into sugar. So I try to keep it really lean protein and greens and very clean eating. And
Yeah.
obviously they're very relaxed. So, a good calm environment and stuff like that is good for them. And you just stay positive and live in the moment. That's all you can really do.
Yep, that is true. Well, thank you for opening up my eyes and probably others about your foundation and what we could do for all dogs. I mean, these of course, because they're labeled, but you know, dogs in general. It's sad because I know a lot of people got dogs during COVID because they were home, and I'm hearing now that their shelters are getting full because people are going back to work, and it's like, okay, I don't need the dog. How can you not? How can you do that? How can you surrender?
It's
Yeah,
heartless. It's heartless. It's gross.
I don't understand it, you know.
Yeah.
I one of my best friends has a miniature mini pin. Her name's Lena. She had to put her down yesterday, and today's her birthday, and it's just so sad for her that. And I actually took care of this dog a couple weeks ago, house sit, and it's so sad to see dogs that you know are at the end of their life, and that you know, and unfortunately, sometimes we have to help that along, and it's a sad thing, but they bring us so much love that you have that to hang on to in the loss, like you did with your dog before.
Mhm.
So
You do, and you should. It's devastating that they don't live long,
long.
but that what they do give you is life changing, and everyone should really consider trying to be more like dogs. The world would probably be a better place.
Yeah, we have all different loves for our friends, our boyfriends, our husbands, mothers, fathers, kids, but you know, like they say, the love that an animal gives you is totally unconditional. And if you haven't experienced that love, everyone, whether it's a dog, a cat, or as long as it's nothing wild that we shouldn't have, you should do it because it changes your life, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well said.
And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and you know, and have a great time for your event, and I hope to be able to attend one of them soon.
Anytime. We do them once a year, so come next year.
All right, sounds good. Maybe I can see if I can sneak over there anyways. We'll
You
try.
should. You can drop off some shelter supplies and have a drink and buy a sweatshirt and see
There
the
you go.
dogs. Yeah.
All right. I'll
All
have
right.
to see about doing that. Well, we
Okay, great.
appreciate you taking the time to
Thank
talk
you.
with us. Enjoy
Sure.
yourself.
Thank you. All
Okay.
right.